Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Creditsafe webinar. My name is Nathan Kolb. I am your host for these webinars, and it is my pleasure each and every week, often multiple times throughout the week, to bring you information on Creditsafe, on the products and the initiatives that we're doing, as well as other things and other folks and other opportunities that are available to the B2B community and to the credit community as a whole as business credit. Today, we're going to be looking at monitoring. We did a 1.0 version or a basic look at monitoring a couple of weeks ago. That video, if you're unfamiliar with it, is available on our website. You can go to creditsafe.com, go to the B2B guide in the upper right-hand corner, look at webinars, and you'll be able to find that there in our previous webinars and look at that at any time you please. But today we're going to take a little bit of a deeper look at that. And as we get ready to go into that, what I'd like to let you know is at any point during this, you can go ahead and get yourself a question answered or anything. If just by going to the bottom, there's a little Q&A bubble at the bottom. You click on that, type in your question. I'm going to hold all those questions to the end, but I will make sure that I get to them. We'll get to the questions as we go, or as we get to the end rather, but you can send them as we go. So don't think that you can't do that. Please feel free to punch those questions in, send them to me, and then at the end, I'll put them all together. We'll talk through it, and we'll do that. I don't want to take up too much more of the time from our speaker, but I do want to introduce her and then welcome her on in. So Michelle Regan-Zamora is a CRM Premier Accounts Manager here at Creditsafe. She has a background in sales, travel, personal finance, all sorts of stuff, but she has extensive experience and expertise in data solutions, B2B credit, and client relationships. Michelle started with Creditsafe in 2002, actually in the UK, and then moved to the US about 6 years ago to join the Creditsafe Americas team. In her free time, Michelle likes to do yoga, hike. Like I said, she has a background in travel, so definitely taking road trips and traveling. And she has 2 young kids that she spends her time with. So I want to welcome you, Michelle. Thanks for being here with me today, and thanks for doing this for us.
Thanks, Nathan. You're very welcome. Good to be here. I just wanted to thank you for the introduction. I just want to reiterate what you said. Welcome to everybody that's joining us, and welcome back to everybody that is staying with us throughout this series of videos. The webinars are proving really helpful for people. We are getting great feedback from them. If anybody has any suggestions for webinars that they would like us to undertake, please do feel free and let us know. Contact your Creditsafe rep or Nathan or anybody else that you like here at Creditsafe, and we can look into that for you. So let's talk about monitoring. For those of you that haven't used monitoring or aren't familiar with the product, they'll give you a little basic on what monitoring is. It's a way for you to credit check a company every single day without having to do the work. Sounds good? So I would imagine that time is a precious commodity for you as it is for many other people. Nathan mentioned I have 2 young children, so there never seem to be enough hours in the day to get everything done. Well, especially when it comes to being at home, as many of us are at the moment. So monitoring itself, as I say, credit checks a company for you every single day. The way that it does that is by, as we covered in the first monitoring webinar, allowing you to add companies to a portfolio. Now, Chris did run through a few ways to do that in the first webinar. I'm going to show a few extra of how to import that data today. But once you've added a company to the monitoring service, for example, you've added XYZ company to monitoring, if they get hit with a lien and you've added that as one of the parameters you wish to be notified about, we're going to send you a notification. As soon as Creditsafe receives that data, you will have your finger on the pulse of the new information available. And we're going to send an email to anybody related to that portfolio that you've set up to let you know that there's been a change, some important key data for you to make amends and notice of, and see what you wish to do with that data. If you've ever got any questions about notifications that you receive, again, reach out to your Creditsafe rep so we can help. So let's log in and take a quick look at this system and see what it can do for you. So when you're a Creditsafe customer, you get a username and password. You head into creditsafe.com and you use your username and password, log into the website. And on the left-hand menu over here, you go into select monitoring. Once you click monitoring, this is the monitoring homepage you're going to see. This page shows you a quick depiction of the events that have happened to the companies that you have within monitoring. It's quickly defaulted to my default portfolio. You can choose that as a drop-down, select various portfolios that you have. We'll cover some of that in a moment. Let's just click into the next screen a second so that we can see what happens when you click on portfolios. I was just talking about the ones that you can have available. This is an example again of my default portfolio. And before I move on to show you how to import companies, I want to talk a little bit about why you should monitor companies. Now, throughout the years that I've been with Creditsafe, many of my companies have let me know that this is a vital tool to monitor their ongoing risk. We all know that, especially in the kind of times that we're facing now of high risk, a company's data can change in a minute. You could look at a company report today, it could be entirely different tomorrow. There could have been some important information, there could be a buyout, there could be poor payment history suddenly received, they could have been to court. Because for all different reasons, a company report can change. It doesn't have to be negative, it could be positive. And that notification is something that will keep you up to date with that company's status and how it affects you. So they could be a customer, they could be a competitor, it could be a supplier, it could be whoever you decide to monitor. So it effectively acts like another team member for you without having to pay their salary. It will sit in the background with all of the companies that you've added to monitoring and credit check every single company for you every single day. It's going to scan all of the reports that you have within the monitoring portfolios to ensure that the data hasn't changed from the last time you viewed it. And if it has changed, it notes if that important information is vital to you and sends an email to let you know. So not only do, as I mentioned, we want to let you know about negative information and negative data pieces that come through, we do have companies that use this service for positive information. A company that I work quite closely with use this service and have a portfolio specifically for rejected accounts. We all have times when we have to turn away business because they simply aren't a viable risk for an account. A certain time, maybe you choose to work with them on a cash basis, maybe you choose not to work with them at all. But if you do then feel that you would like to maybe work with them in the future, or you wish to be proactive, the company that I work with, as I say, have set up a portfolio that will then monitor these companies. And when they go above a certain score or above a certain limit, they get an email notification to let them know that company now qualifies within their credit terms and can be offered accounts. They then proactively reach out to those companies and let them know that they can be considered for an account at this time. And they've seen quite a growth in open accounts and seeing quite great return on the businesses that they do approach for that. So that's just another angle of, not just negative news. It's not all bad news. There is some good work and uses for the monitoring section as well. So let's move on to some of the capabilities. I mentioned I'm going to run through how to import companies into this section. You would click import from file here. This is the box that pops up for you. And I'm going to run through these in reverse order as I see it for the data pieces and how the information can be imported for you, because time saving for your company is going to be one of the most important factors, as we mentioned earlier. So firstly, let's cover manual import. Manual import is down here on the left-hand side. You would click that button and it's going to open up. Now, this is the one that we recommend you use if you only have, say, up to 5 companies to import. If you're importing those companies, you need their Creditsafe reference number. Once you have their safe number, you would simply fill in the safe number, click confirm, and that would be up. You would have the company on monitor and on watch from that day. Now, you obviously choose what portfolio you want them in and what those parameters are. Again, that was covered in the first webinar that you can find in the B2B guide on our website. The second way to import data would be to use the import from file. Now, this is where you have a CSV file, an Excel XS file, or an XLS file. You can see on the page here that they do have samples. So once you understand the format and you get your data in the format that is applicable, you would click to choose file. You would select the file from wherever you've stored it and import the data. Again, it just takes a few minutes. It's just a few clicks of a button. We do try to make our website quick and easy to use. So once you click those, you've uploaded the data, you're going to get an email once you've clicked confirm to let you know how many companies have been added to your monitoring, to which portfolio they've been added, and any companies that weren't able to be monitored for various reasons. Again, ask your rep if you have any questions about any of these things, or feel free to ask questions at the end. The way that I personally suggest that you add companies to monitoring is the most time saving as I see it for you. You contact your Creditsafe rep. Creditsafe reps are on hand all the time to help out. We are here at your service. We like to help out. We love to talk to our customers. It's why we do the job that we do. And as I say, it's the quickest way to get this done. So we would still need the file in the formats that I've mentioned. We just need name and address to be able to match them to the database to check that you are monitoring the correct company. And we're going to ask you a few questions about maybe parameters, what you want to do, and which portfolios you want those set up for. We'll work with you to make sure that you get the correct details all set up. And then, I want to say bish bash boss, that's such a British thing to say. But again, in just a few minutes, that would be completed for you. It would take a few days to upload the details, but again, once we confirm the information, it shouldn't take too long for us to have that uploaded. So in the first monitoring webinar, those are the ways to import the details and import the companies that you have into monitoring. I know that Chris had mentioned the portfolios and how you can set those up and how you can have multiple email addresses attached to each portfolio, how you can change the parameters of what you're notified for each portfolio. And there's also a way for you to change who can view, edit, add, and remove from each portfolio. So for example, I have a company, they only have certain individuals working with international companies. They only have certain companies working with suppliers or vendors. And so for example, here, if Batman was my international portfolio manager and I wanted everybody else to be able to view the portfolio, I would simply click view for everybody, but Batman would have view, add, edit, and remove highlighted, and you just click confirm. This is your list of users, by the way, for anybody that's set up on your Creditsafe account. If you do want to add users, adding domestic users is usually done at no charge, as long as you might see your Creditsafe rep. And we will make sure that it's done for you to add in anybody that you need to use and anybody that needs to be able to manage these portfolios. So talking of the portfolios, once you have your portfolio set up, let us see what we can do with those. So here's a quick list of some of the names that have been set up for this portfolio that we're using as an example here. And you'll want to move on to export. Because once you have those portfolios set up, not only are you able to have alerts and information sent to you on a regular basis to make sure that you're up to date with the data, but if you do want information at the click of a button on any of those companies, you are able to go in here and export the data. So for example, if you've got a Monday morning meeting and you want to discuss the credit limits of your top 100 companies, if you've got a portfolio in here for your top 100 companies, you would be able to go in, click on export and select the portfolio. You do need to name the portfolio in the export. So naming the export is going to, you might want to perhaps just use a date. You might have a specific meeting or something that you're exporting the data for, but it is going to be stored within the system along with the notifications little tab here. Your exports are also saved, so you can always see the information and refer back to the data. You select the portfolios when you're exporting the information. So portfolio or portfolios, you can export several. And you choose who receives the export. Now, the way that the export comes through is, again, in Excel format. I'll show you that in the next section. But you will see as all of this information here on the right-hand side is what you can export. So if you want to, as I mentioned, see maybe if your top 100 customers are trading above or below the credit limit that Creditsafe recommends. Perhaps you've got a sales drive on, perhaps you want to ensure your risk mitigation. You can use that as a choice. Turnover, sales figures, the address, the score, the status of the company. All of these are options for you to be able to export onto the system. So once you've done that, again, at the click of a button, you click confirm. And within a few minutes, you get an email. That email is a spreadsheet attached to it. And this is how that email looks. So the spreadsheet itself is going to have the company name, the country code. As you know, if you watched the first monitoring webinar, we do offer monitoring for various countries. We are always looking to expand that. Again, any suggestions are welcome. We are always looking to expand our services, and we want to work in areas that best suit our clients' needs. You can, as I say, have the scoring available. The score for the local score, the international score, and as you move along, you'll see all of the other data for the company, such as the limits that I mentioned earlier. So once you've extracted the information and you've used it, we'll move on to the last tab along here. So we covered the imports, we covered exports. We're just going to quickly cover analysis. The analysis that I mentioned very briefly at the beginning, this is all the companies that you have included in your monitoring system. It's going to give you a quick at-a-glance visual of how many changes have been received. Now, as I mentioned, the notifications that have been sent, you can always see those over here. And this date range is changeable, so you can just change it if you didn't just want to see the information from the last month. You can see in the last 24 hours, 7 days, 2 weeks, 30 days, and it is customizable. You can also change to a bar or line graph. You can navigate to any of these companies if you were to click on the safe number or the name of the company. And you can also click here into the low risk or the moderate risk to see which companies that you're monitoring fall into these categories. Now, this analysis section is great. We do have another tool called 3D Ledger, which is great for further analysis. If you're interested in analytical tools, that is definitely one I would recommend. We do have a webinar also available for the 3D Ledger service. So that would be something that I would recommend if you like the analysis side of the details. Once you have shared your portfolio with us, if you do export it, that is one thing that I would like to recommend that everybody does at the moment, is if you export the data or you do send us a list of companies, we do strongly recommend that you use our current COVID impact score. This score has been tailor-made and is very up to the minute, is going to give you further insight that isn't currently available on the website and tells you how much a business is going to be affected by the current pandemic that we face. So I strongly recommend that to all Creditsafe customers to make sure that you do run your customers, suppliers, everybody through that new scoring just for additional data. Knowledge is power, as they say. But just a quick recap, monitor because it works like another staff member credit checking every company that you're interested in data about every single day. You can import companies yourself if you wish, but we recommend mostly that you use your Creditsafe rep. You want to have all those companies imported at any time, 24 hours a day, 365 or 366 this year. You can get that information exported for you and analyze any of the data in the spreadsheet. There are analytical tools available, not just via this, but also via 3D Ledger. So thank you for your time. I appreciate that. I'm just going to pass back to Nathan in case we have any questions to answer today.
Thank you very much, Michelle. I appreciate that. We do have a couple of questions coming in here. Give me 1 second to get them up. First one, you talked about importing files. How long does it actually take for the files once imported to get the return? So if they import the files, how long until it's uploaded or ready to go for them to use?
So as long as you have the correct information, either via your Creditsafe rep or if you upload a spreadsheet yourself, it really is just a matter of minutes. It is a service that's very quick and reactive. It talks directly to our main server, so it's going to add that information directly into your account, attach the records into your account. And I would say no more than 10, 15 minutes. When you get the email, that really depends on how tight your security is, because it is an automated email that comes back to let you know. So make sure that you do have Creditsafe allowed for automated emails as well as the standard emails from your Creditsafe rep. But yeah, it shouldn't take more than, I would say, 10, 15 minutes at the most normally to get the details through.
Okay, so we're not talking days or weeks. We're talking, minutes or maybe a couple of hours, depending
Actual
on what type of
minutes.
security measures they might have in place for their email system.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. And that is providing that, we've gotten all the data correct and like everything's right and the fields are correct and all that good stuff like Chris covered in the first one, right?
Yeah, so as I say, if you are importing them, you do need the Creditsafe number because that is what we use, because there is so many different companies, especially companies with similar names, addresses, franchises. So we like to make sure that we're matching the correct companies for you.
Sure.
So we will attach the safe number to that, and that's how we use to import the file.
And shameless plug time. I mean, if they have issues with that, we can always use the data health check, which we also did a webinar on, and they can gladly look at that recording and everything on how to do that too. So just, shameless plug for the other webinars. Next question, is the analysis that you were talking about based on a portfolio or on the overall?
So this here is specific to a portfolio. You'll notice on my screen that we have here, this one says new international clients default. So each one is portfolio based. It can be an overall if you wanted it to be. There is a way to do that, but this is portfolio based at the moment. So there is a section to click all portfolios, and you can look at that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Your choice. Customizable, I think, is the word we like to use, because everybody wants something slightly different. So we try to use as many features to keep everybody as happy as possible.
Right. Great. And then you talked about the COVID score tool, or the COVID impact score, and we have a question about that. Is the COVID score available in the monitoring tool, or is it separate?
No, I believe that is something that we are working on. We reacted very quickly in relation to releasing this score for our customers. Our analysts worked day and night to put together some key data based on historical information and real true data, big data information. So it's not yet available via the website. I do believe that's something that we're working on, and I will give you an update when I know a little bit more, but I'm sure that you guys will let us all know as well. But yeah, it will. I think that is something that we are looking to do.
Right. Yeah. It's not a part of the monitoring tool. It's to be used in conjunction with the monitoring tool. So just
absolutely,
kind of yeah, that's, we didn't, if you want to learn all about the COVID score, we did do we've got a whole landing page all about how we created the COVID impact score, what's going on with it, how to access it, everything like that. You can access that again through the B2B guide on our website. It's all right there. The same thing with the Stay Safe program. You may have heard about that. The Stay Safe program, which gives you complimentary access to our standard platform and everything. That's all on there. So folks, if you've heard about that and you've seen that, please go ahead and you can check out the webinars about them. You can read about them. You can talk to a sales rep or a account manager, whichever, whether you're a customer or aren't currently a customer, all that's there. And we're trying to do all of this, including these webinars, just to help you out. We understand that right now it is a crazy time. It is a difficult time. There's changes every minute, it seems.
Yep.
And we want to be here to help as much as possible. So please, just go ahead, go do that, and keep checking out the webinars, which just so you know, we do have another webinar on Thursday. John Powers will be joining us and talking about understanding your company's credit risk and DSO during an economic downturn. So if you'd like to register for that, it is completely free. We'll be doing it live just like we've done all of these webinars, but you do need to register. If you'd like to register for that, please go ahead over to our website. Again, creditsafe.com, go to the top right to the B2B guide and click on the webinars section, and you'll be right there. You'll be able to do it. And all of them are organized in there by the date they appear, as well as pictures of the speakers and all that type of stuff. You can learn a little bit more about each one of them there. But I want to thank you guys. Michelle, I want to thank you for joining us. For all you folks that are attending and have been attending these, I hope you're seeing a lot of value from these and getting a lot of good information from these. And we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Have a great day.